Change is coming, and I think our superpower as humans is going to be how we adapt to it all the time. And so I think that's a really important element of this lifestyle. It's how do we change from one mindset doing things one way to another. The house has enabled us to have the money to be able to take a risk of opening that business and supporting other people to build their relationship with nature, basically. For me, this was a particularly difficult transition, living in a tiny house. I'd never lived in a van, or I didn't come from that. Tom had, you'd lived in a horse box. I'd never done it, and I had lots of things, and so I found it, it was a big let go for me. I saw it as a necessity that it was important for me to do, which is why I did it, but it didn't make it any easier. Living in a tiny house forced me to realise that I'd really lost all relationship with the natural world. Whether it was raining outside or sunny or cold, it just didn't affect me. I was living in a city and I could just come into my house, I could turn on my central heating and it was no problem. And I'd lost that connection or the desire to go outside and look at the stars or to see what the moon was doing, or it was gone. And when I come here, I realised it was gone. So that was quite a sad process for me as well, to realise I'd been living for a long time completely disconnected. And always be true. I want to live light and be good to you. And I want to fly and never come down and live my life and have friends around. It's important for us to be as self-sustainable as possible, so that involves, really important point is growing our own food. Our chickens are amazing. Sometimes it varies, sometimes they're laying eggs in places that we just can't reach or that they're hidden, but we get about 6 eggs a day, which is incredible. So yeah, we really enjoy our fresh eggs. Here we've got some strawberry, some fennel, some beetroot, some courgettes, which again, this is being fed through the grey water system. So we haven't had to water these at all. And they're thriving, they're very happy plants.
Made use of materials that we found, so I've made the beds out of old tyres, some of them, and some of these were bits of timber that came off the barn. This is an experiment, so we're trying to do no-dig gardening. So we've just layered the manure with compost and cardboard. So we're just seeing as we go along. We use courgettes in our apple crumble because it feels like apples, so we made courgette apple crumble.
We tricked the kids into eating some courgette and told them that it was apples. But yeah, it tasted really good. They didn't know. They just ate it down. I'm a writer, so I also have lots of notebooks and absolutely love to read. So these bookshelves were also from foraged wood that we were able to use. This is our little burner, our tiny wood stove. We got this on eBay.
That's really tiny.
It's really tiny, it's really dinky. The thing with this is that we have to cut the wood, we have an axe there because we really have to cut the wood quite small to get it in there. With this, the insulation, because the house is insulated with sheep's wool, and sometimes just cooking dinner and having the oven on, it was enough to warm the space. So the good thing about living tiny is that you don't need a lot to heat up the space.
And they have a copper around that heats up the water.
Yeah, so this was Tom's idea. This was his invention. I'm sure other people have done it, but yeah. So we've put copper around, and we have a pan here, a stainless steel pan, and we put water inside, and there's a tap here. So when that's on in the winter, we heat up the water, and then we use it for washing up, so that we don't have to be using the gas. and it worked really, really well. We had to get rid of a lot of things to be here, but yeah, this is the space that we have for our clothes. We have a light so that we can look in and see in. And yeah, and we really can't buy any more things. Like, this is jam packed, as you can see. I'm surprised it didn't all fall out as I opened it, like stuffing it back in. So yeah, this is our wardrobe space. And then in these 2 drawers we have like underwear, and they're quite deep. So we have, you know, our clothes that are in here.
Quite a lot of storage,
and the same with this, yeah, Tom's drawer underneath there.
Yeah. Well, the say less is more. So
Exactly. This sofa was free. This was a foraged good. This was from Freecycle as well. So someone was just getting rid of this, and we decided we went and picked it up. And then Tom sort of built the sofa, like you built the sofa around the house.
Yeah,
like
so it pulls out to a full double bed, and it also pulls out to a slightly more comfortable sofa. Like that, so you can lean back into it. And also we have under here, we've got more storage, so that's all of Amy's summer clothes, and we have all of our bed linen and stuff like that. So
it's not the comfiest sofa in the world. Like, you know, we've adapted it to make it more comfortable, but again, we just used what we had. My favourite part of the house. I absolutely love this banister. We were inspired, we went to see a friend's house and they had something similar, and it really inspired us. And this is made from dieback ash, basically. So in a woodland, the ash was being cut because it had disease, and so instead of leaving it to rot, we foraged it and we whittled it and we sanded it, and we made this banister.
it looks very nice.
Thank you.
And you still have some storage in the stairs.
Yeah, so we've got storage here, which is just like random bits and bobs, really. You always need a drawer just for keys and all of those sorts of things, and in a tiny house it's no different.
Odds and sods.
Odds and sods, yeah. So that's our drawer for that.
And that step is that you can sit actually there.
This is where we put our feet for our desk. And these as well, these pieces of wood, which are just, they're absolutely beautiful, like the perfect, you know, we spent a long time looking for wood that was right to support the desk. And the same with this piece here. So this was all found.
Be going for walks in the woods, and then my eye would be just looking for bendy pieces of wood.
And with so much recycled material, it still took you only 1 year to build it. And you still were working full time.
Yeah, so we were working full time. Well, I was working 4 days a week, and
studying as well.
Well, yeah,
we were studying a master's alongside doing the house and working.
Not quite sure how we did it, really.
No, I don't know how we did it either. It was sort of, once we had the idea, it was like this sense of urgency. It was just like, we have to do this. Like, we knew it was going to be a life change, and we also wanted to start a business. We wanted to be our own boss. We started a forest school as well, and we knew that we were going to move the house and start the business all at the same time. And so we just put our heads down, and we just, you know, we had no social life for a year. We have no social life. We've had no social life for a long time, but we just went for it and worked really hard.
It was definitely a passion project.
Yeah.
I'd like, wake up in the middle of the night thinking about wood and drawers and that kind of thing.
In a hot sweat, like, whew.
Most of the timber on the inside, if not all of it, was found or foraged or donated. So we were quite thrifty on the inside.
Yeah.
Most of the all of the architraves and everything is from pallet wood.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the only timber that we bought was the stump groove on the roof.
We got a bit of handy storage under here too. These flip open, and this sort of flips up, and we can put some things in here. Tom keeps his art supplies. We needed space for our books. I write. I'm a writer, so I also have lots of notebooks and absolutely love to read. So these bookshelves were also from foraged wood. That we were able to use. And this is we have a water filter here. This was how we were drinking the rainwater basically, and this is what it was going through. This was another piece of foraged wood that was lovingly sanded and varnished.
So yeah, my dad is he sort of fits kitchens and bathrooms. So in his shed he had lots of really nice offcuts of things. So we managed to get this offcut of Worktop, and then these this is like acrylic Worktop, which is really nice stuff. And he had just a piece left over, so we used that for our kitchen space. It's more sanitary.
Yeah, we got this chair here was a freebie again off Freecycle, and this was made by Tom, which is just gorgeous. So this was made using hemp for this part, and yeah.
I meant to make another one, but I never did, so that's why we got.
So we fight over this chair a lot. We always want to sit on this chair.
Yeah, it looks very comfortable.
It's gorgeous, yeah. And underneath here is where we've put some extra hooks for shoes, you know, yoga mats, and we've tried to use some of the space under here too. These pipes were homemade. So again, this was copper that were made into taps. They have a charm. Like copper ages really nicely. It goes like that sort of green colour, and yeah, it works fine.
These drawers open out, so we've got quite a lot of storage for our cutlery and things like that. And it works quite well as long as you don't leave anything here. It gets very annoying. You have to open the drawer, you have to move everything here.
Yeah, it can be a bit of a juggle.
So it really makes us stay a bit tidier.
Yeah. The design of the house, we designed this by both sitting together and being like, right, what do we 100% want in our house? Like, what are the priorities for us? We both had different things, but it came down to, for me, I needed a bath. Like, I wanted a full-length bath. I just didn't want to sacrifice that. It's a pleasure for me to have a bath and a desk as well. They were the two things that we realised that we really needed. And so, yeah, the house was built around those decisions. And
this is the sort of Dometic fridge here. It's really small. It's a tiny little freezer section.
And runs on 24 volts.
Yeah, it runs on 24. That goes direct from the batteries. So it's super low energy. So we can run it all through the year on the solar system, which is really important to us.
We've got a little pantry here. So we pull out where we keep all of our cans and peanut butter and
there's different sections
pastas
on the other side.
Yes, that's really handy.
There was a door I found in a skip, and I just asked if I could have it, and then it was too wide, so I just cut a bit off and stuck the end back on. So it looks kind of funny, but yeah, it's nice. It saves space having the sliding door.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you do the bathroom tour.
Okay. Yeah, so we have our compost toilet. Next to our compost toilet, we have some space for storage where we keep our toilet roll and we keep some cleaning products. And here is where we keep our sawdust to use in the compost toilet once we're done. We also have, again, we got our homemade tap and tiles that were foraged, that were given to us for free. And yeah, and then all of these drawers and these cupboards, we just pop all of our shower and clean bits and bobs in there. Oh, thank you. The only thing about this sink is that obviously we get a lot of water that builds there. So I think that if we were to do it again, we would do this sink a little bit differently, so that the water doesn't build up in this area. And then we have a homemade shower. So this again was made out of copper. And then holes were drilled in. This shower is amazing. It feels like you're in the rain, that you're showering in the rain. It's a really great shower, and it's starting to weather really nicely as well. So yeah, we're really happy with this. And it's a full-length bath. So I've only had a few baths since I've been here, because obviously you do have to save water as well, and a bath uses a lot of water, but I've enjoyed every single moment of bathing in here, and it sort of feels like you're in a cave. It's like this secret part of the house that you don't know exists, and you know, light a few candles, and it's a really lovely area, and yeah, it's a great space.
How much it was, this project?
So yeah, I think we worked out that the build itself cost us around 19,000. And then there were some other costs. For example, we rented a barn space where we build it, so that was worked out to be £1,000. And then we spent that's not including the solar panels and the batteries. So all told, it was around £26,000.
And that includes getting it here as well. So it costs us a bit of money putting on a load loader, paying for the tractors and all of that. So yeah, about 27,000.
Something like that.
The off-grid system is expensive.
Yeah.
But
We
now we have no bills, and so it's definitely we were happy with we saved lots of money wherever we could. We spent the money where we thought it was important to spend it. So like on the shell, we basically spend most of the money. So the insulation and the membranes and the roofing sheets to make sure it was watertight. And then on the inside, we were a bit more creative with the materials that we found.
This is our office. We do work from home sometimes, so it's really good to have, we work together, we both run a business together, so it's really good. I can be here in the office and Tom's down there, and we can just be talking to each other. It's a good way to work. And we have here some cupboards, some storage that we're coaches, we are wellbeing coaches, so we work from home. We have lots of resources that we use for that, and so a lot of that is stored in here. Yeah, and sometimes like we have bean bags as well that we put up here, and we just use this as a bit of a chill out space.
And I love the idea that actually can stand like all the way and still have space actually.
Yeah,
that's what. That was. I don't know why that was a really important thing, to be able to walk around the house. It feels like more like a bigger house than having to crawl everywhere. Yeah.
You want to show the bedroom?
Yeah. So.
This as well, just to say that this art is Tom's on the wall that we've got up behind you. So this was one of his drawings.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and that picture of Gandhi as well.
Okay.
Good old Gandhi, the peacemaker.
This is the bedroom. We've got this shelf here, which is our bookshelf, which kind of gives it a bit of its own kind of part of the house, and this is where we keep all of our plants. So yeah, it creates a nice kind of barrier. This is one of my favorite design features. So we're both, I think it's safe to say, we're both a little bit messy when it comes to clothes. So, and I knew this because we've lived together for a few years. So I wanted to have a place where we could just stuff the clothes that we're like wearing, instead of having to like put them back in the drawer. So this is like our dirty clothes and then our active clothes drawers.
Tom's very hot on this active clothes. Like he needed that active clothes
that
drawer.
I'm wearing, because we don't need to wash your clothes every day. So clothes that you just keep wearing and we keep in here, so it keeps it quite tidy.
Yeah.
And then there's not much up here. We wanted this to be quite an uncluttered space. I really like this feature as well, which is where we have the change of pitch in the roof. We put glass there, so it gives us a nice bit of light coming in. That was a bit of an afterthought in designing it. I thought, why not just put glass there? And then, so glad we did that, because it gives us sort of the morning sun.
Yeah.
It's a bit like panorama view.
Yeah. We've got a little corner for our guitar as well. We struggled to know where to put the guitar, but we found a little spot for it. And you can see we've got our slow cooker on here. We're making a lasagna in here today, and we just pop it up. Obviously not always enough room in the kitchen, but we just are able to use it. And we actually find the slow cooker is so efficient, it doesn't use that much. It's just taking from the solar basically, so we're not having to use the gas. So we do a lot of cooking in our slow cooker. And this area here, all the plants give us a lot of privacy. You know, people can't see into the bedroom. It's a private space for us, and an area where you can also, chill out, or if you've had a long day, come here and it feels like you're on your own, which is a really nice part of the house to have.
Not that there's ever like lots of people just in our house.
No.
It's sometimes important to have privacy.
Yeah.
Exactly, when you're living in a small space.
And if it's raining or...
Exactly. We're making more friends. Won't be easy. I wanna live life and always be true. I want to live life